Chosen one, stop scrolling and listen carefully. Something sacred is happening right now. Time itself seems to slow down because heaven is trying to reach you. You feel it, this pull inside your chest, this strange stillness that silences every distraction. It isn't random. This is a divine interruption, a moment written in eternity before your name was ever spoken on earth. You have sensed the tension building for weeks, maybe months. The quiet battles that no one sees, the unseen weight you carry, the questions that keep echoing in your spirit. You wonder, why now? Why this? Heaven answers, because destiny is knocking, and this is your wake-up call. You have walked through too many valleys to doubt now. You have endured too many storms to give up before the dawn. Everything that tried to break you only revealed the strength of what God placed within you. You've been misunderstood, overlooked, and misjudged, yet here you stand. The reason is simple. God's hand never left you. Every delay, every rejection, every night you cried yourself to sleep was actually divine preparation. You weren't being punished. You were being positioned. The world may have tried to define you by your failures, but heaven defines you by your assignment. You are not fragile. You are forged. Every scar is a signature of grace. There's a reason your spirit doesn't fit where it used to. You've outgrown old versions of yourself, and that restlessness inside you, it's the spirit whispering, "Rise." Something new begins. The word of the Lord breaks through the noise, reminding you of the unshakable promise written long ago. It was proclaimed in the second letter to Timothy, chapter 1, verse 7. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind. Let those words settle deep within you. Fear has no claim over your destiny. The confusion, the anxiety, the uncertainty, all of it is losing its grip because divine clarity is taking its place. You are entering a season where your courage will become contagious, where your peace will silence storms, where your faith will pull miracles into motion. Chosen one, can you feel the shift already? August is not just another month, it is a divine portal. Heaven has marked this time for alignment. The atmosphere is pregnant with change, and you are being summoned to move differently, to think higher, to speak with authority. The patterns that kept you stuck will no longer have power over you. The voices that once intimidated you will fall silent before your obedience. This week will not be ordinary. The Spirit of God is stirring waters that have been stagnant for too long. You might see chaos, but heaven sees construction. Every broken plan, every painful ending, every detour was building the foundation for what comes next. You are not behind schedule. You are exactly where God needs you to be for His timing to unfold. The shift will test your faith. It will require you to release what you've been holding on to: old fears, old identities, old disappointments. But do not resist the transition. What God is bringing you into cannot coexist with what He's pulling you out of. This divine interruption is your invitation to surrender, to trust, to step into the unknown with confidence that you are guided by unseen hands. Your light intimidates darkness. That's why the attacks increased the moment you decided to heal. But remember, even in warfare, you are not alone. Angels have surrounded you, assigned to your name. Every tear you've cried has been counted. Every prayer you've whispered has been heard. Heaven's silence was never absence, it was strategy. Now, as this word meets your eyes, your spirit knows this is confirmation. You can sense it in the stillness, the same peace that surpasses understanding is wrapping around you. It's as if heaven itself leans close to whisper, "Don't quit. You are almost there." So take this as your sign, your divine checkpoint. Lift your head, Breathe and step forward. You are being reintroduced to the world as who you were always meant to be: bold, unbreakable, chosen. If this message speaks to something deep inside you, if you can feel the truth vibrating in your spirit, then act on it. Like this message, share it so another chosen one can awaken, and subscribe so you don't miss the next divine word. Let heaven see your agreement through your action, for obedience opens doors that prayer alone cannot. And finally, as a prophetic declaration of faith, go to the comments and write this number, 777. This is how heaven knows you've heard the call. You have always felt it, an invisible mark upon your spirit that set you apart from the beginning. Long before anyone knew your name, heaven had already whispered it with purpose. You were never random. Every step, every season, every struggle was written into a story larger than your understanding. The truth is, you have been marked for something extraordinary, and your life's storms were proof of that calling, not the cancellation of it. Look back for a moment. Can you see it now? The patterns, the divine fingerprints across your past, the moments that didn't make sense when they happened but now seem almost orchestrated. Even the betrayals carried hidden blessings. Even the detours brought hidden lessons. You were never lost. You were being led through fire to discover gold. You carry within you the signature of heaven. It is why certain environments could no longer hold you. It is why comfort never satisfied you. The mark of the chosen does not allow complacency. You were designed to walk paths that others fear, to endure trials that others would crumble under, to see visions others call impossible. That weight you've carried all your life, the burden that made you feel isolated, was not punishment. It was evidence of divine trust. There were moments when you tried to run from it. You wanted to be normal, to blend in, to silence the voice that kept calling you higher. But every attempt to hide only deepened the ache within. That ache was purpose pressing against the walls of your comfort zone. You cannot hide from destiny because destiny recognizes its own. When others dismissed you, heaven remembered you. When you felt invisible, angels took note. Every time someone misunderstood your heart, the Spirit of God recorded your tears as testimony. The loneliness you felt was sacred separation. He was pulling you away from distractions so you could hear his voice clearly. The prophet Elijah once stood alone, believing the fire had gone out, that he was the only one left carrying the flame. But even in that desolate moment, God whispered, reminding him that the remnant still existed, that he was not forgotten. You are that remnant in this generation. You carry the flame that darkness cannot extinguish. And heaven speaks again through timeless words preserved for such as you. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 1, verse 5. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations. This is the essence of your mark. You were known before you were seen. You were chosen before you were capable. The calling on your life did not begin when you discovered faith. It began before creation itself. That is why no amount of rejection can erase it. No failure can disqualify it. No darkness can undo it. You were sealed by divine intention. August will expose this truth in ways you could not imagine. Everything that made you question your worth will now reveal your value. The things that fell apart were never meant to destroy you. They were meant to direct you. God's preparation often looks like isolation because he refines his chosen ones away from the crowd. You are entering a phase where divine recognition will begin to follow you. Doors that once remained closed will open without force. People who overlooked you will start to notice the light upon your name. But understand this, with recognition comes responsibility. The mark of the chosen is not for display, it is for assignment. Do not mistake favor for ease. Favor will often place you in rooms where warfare increases. But remember, light doesn't fear darkness, it simply shines. You are that light, refined, resilient, radiant. What once felt like rejection was heaven's redirection, steering you toward your ordained destiny. The mark of the chosen means you can no longer live half awake. You can no longer accept less than what heaven intended. You will feel an inner stirring to rise, to separate, to consecrate yourself again. The distractions that once entertained you will suddenly lose power, because your spirit is awakening to its higher calling. Let this truth settle deeply within you. You were known, you were set apart, and you were chosen before time began. Nothing in your past can rewrite that. The storms only revealed it. And now, as you stand in this quiet awareness, something within you begins to shift. The weight you carried turns into clarity. The ache becomes assurance. You finally understand you were never waiting for purpose to find you. Purpose was waiting for you to awaken. The veil begins to lift, and suddenly you see that what looked like confusion was actually a hidden war for your destiny. You have been walking through a spiritual battlefield disguised as everyday life. The fatigue, the chaos, the strange resistance every time you tried to move forward, these were not coincidences. They were clues. Something unseen has been trying to silence your awakening because heaven's plan for your life threatens the kingdom of darkness itself. You've felt the pressure rise lately, haven't you? The moments where everything seems to go wrong all at once, where even your prayers feel heavy, where peace seems distant. But chosen one, understand this: the presence of battle is the evidence of purpose. The enemy does not waste energy attacking those who pose no threat. The warfare around you is confirmation of the anointing within you. There are seasons when heaven allows you to see beyond the surface, to realize that not everything physical is natural. Some people were sent to distract you. Some thoughts were planted to discourage you, and some obstacles were designed to delay you. Yet none of them can destroy you. You carry divine protection written in the unseen. You have survived attacks that were meant to erase your name. You have stood through storms that others could not withstand. That's not by chance, it's by covenant. Lift your eyes. You are not fighting alone. Every time you resisted temptation, every time you forgave instead of retaliating, every time you prayed when you could have quit, you were winning battles invisible to the world. Heaven applauds victories no one sees. What the enemy intended to bury you with became the soil that will raise you higher. There is a truth recorded long ago that still pierces through the noise of the ages. According to what is revealed in the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. These words reveal the structure of your battle. You are not merely contending with circumstances, you are confronting systems of darkness that fear your awakening. The heaviness you feel before breakthrough is not defeat, it is spiritual resistance. When you feel pressed on every side, remind yourself pressure only comes before release. August brings exposure, the masks will fall, and the hidden hands behind the chaos will be revealed. You will start to recognize what has been draining your spirit and what has been feeding it. God is teaching you to discern the difference between distraction and direction. The people who once walked beside you may begin to distance themselves, not because something went wrong, but because your frequency has shifted. You can no longer walk at the pace of those who refuse to grow. Your obedience will now carry weight in the unseen. Every yes to God sends ripples through realms you cannot see. Every moment of surrender strengthens your spiritual armor. You are being trained for greater influence, but that influence requires vigilance. Do not fear the exposure, it will not harm you. It will free you. You have walked through fire, and now your faith glows. You have been tested, and now your discernment sharpens. You have been shaken, but you were never broken. Heaven is making you into a weapon formed for righteousness, a living testimony that light still wins. And when the battle feels loud, remember you don't fight for victory, you fight from victory. Christ already sealed the outcome. You are standing in a war that has already been won, defending territory already promised. Your endurance is the proof of that promise. Now pause for a moment and let your spirit respond to what it knows is true. You have seen too much to doubt, survived too much to fear, and endured too much to turn back. The battle was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to reveal the warrior within. If this word ignites something inside you, take a breath and let heaven see your agreement. Type these words in the comments. I stand firm. Do it not as a routine gesture, but as a declaration that even in battle, your faith will not bend. You are not backing down, you are standing up. The unseen war has met its match you. Word count 1043. The atmosphere around you begins to shift. It is not imagination, it is recognition. Heaven is opening something over your life, and the winds of August carry the scent of change. You can feel it before you see it, like the air right before a storm breaks, like a stirring in the spirit that whispers, now. This is the threshold between what was and what is about to be. The old season has done its work. Every disappointment, every delay, every silence was a chiseling of your faith, carving away everything that couldn't survive in the next dimension. God often moves quietly before he moves suddenly, and August is that sudden moment. The time of quiet refining is giving way to divine revealing. You have waited long enough, but waiting has not been wasted time, it has been training. You learned to pray when answers didn't come. You learned to trust when doors stayed shut. You learned to stand when everything inside you wanted to retreat. That kind of faith doesn't vanish when storms arrive. It becomes the anchor that holds you steady. The Spirit whispers that this August carries acceleration. Things that once took years will now align in days. Relationships will be reordered. Opportunities will appear. And what seemed impossible will begin to unfold naturally. You will look back and realize that every painful pause was a part of heaven's choreography. But divine shifts always come with holy tension. Before every great unveiling, the atmosphere trembles. It is the shaking that precedes stability, the chaos that comes before clarity. You may feel unsettled because your spirit senses what your eyes cannot yet perceive. That restlessness is heaven preparing you for movement. You are being repositioned for purpose. The Word of God shines light upon this mystery, revealing that divine timing governs all things, even the shaking you now feel. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 16, verse 19, I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. These words are not poetic, they are strategic. Heaven has authorized you to partner in the shift. You are not a spectator waiting for miracles to happen. You are a vessel through which miracles will manifest. Every prayer you release, every word you speak in alignment with heaven's will, unlocks movement in the unseen. The coming days will test your discernment. Not every opportunity will be divine, and not every open door will be from God. The enemy often mimics light to divert chosen ones just before breakthrough. That is why peace, not excitement, must be your compass. Where there is divine peace, there is divine permission. You must also guard your words in this season. What you speak carries power, it becomes seed. The atmosphere is fertile right now, and what you declare will grow rapidly, whether it's faith or fear. Speak life, even when you don't see results. Speak blessing, even when you feel broken. The echo of your faith creates the reality of your future. August is the month where hidden seeds break the surface. You may have prayed years ago for things you've forgotten, but heaven has not forgotten. The time of germination is over. The promise that once lay buried under years of delay is now rising. Don't judge the process by appearances. The seed breaks before it blooms. If it feels like things are falling apart, it's because God is breaking what has been holding you. The old order cannot coexist with new glory. When walls fall, vision expands. When people leave, purpose clarifies. When silence lingers, revelation deepens. Everything that seems to be shaking is actually being aligned. You are not losing control. You are being released into divine control. The same hand that started this work in you will finish it in strength. August will not merely be another page on the calendar. It will be a marker of transition. A month heaven will reference as the turning point. Stand in expectation, not fear. The trembling you feel is not danger, it's delivery. Something long promised is about to be born, and your obedience is the midwife of its arrival. There are moments when heaven speaks, not in thunder, but through delay. You've been walking through days that felt paused, as though time itself hesitated. You prayed, you prepared, yet doors didn't open. It felt like God was silent. But the truth is, heaven was not withholding, it was aligning. Every unanswered prayer, every closed door, every not yet was the sound of divine timing being perfected. Delay does not mean denial. It means detail. God has been working behind the scenes, crafting the right people, the right places, the right opportunities to meet you in the right moment. Had those doors opened earlier, they would have crushed you under blessings you weren't yet ready to carry. You were being strengthened in stillness. Sometimes heaven teaches you more in silence than in speech. The quiet years build depth that applause never could. When nothing seems to move, it's because your roots are growing deeper. The oak tree doesn't grow overnight, it anchors itself first. You've been anchoring, chosen one, and now August comes as the season of sprouting. Think about it, even rain must wait for the clouds to gather. Even sunlight waits for the earth to turn. Nothing divine ever rushes, it only arrives right on time. You are about to see why the waiting was necessary. The same doors that once ignored you will soon open effortlessly, not because you forced them, but because heaven turned the key. The word of the Lord reflects this mystery of divine waiting and reward. According to the book of Psalms, chapter 27, verse 14. Wait for the Lord, be strong and take heart and wait for the Lord. These words are not about passive waiting, but about trust in motion. It's the kind of faith that refuses to let go. The kind that keeps the lamp burning even in long nights. Your waiting has been worship. Your patience has been prophecy. But now that the shift is near, let your heart stay open. This message is not just information, it's impartation. When you share it, you're not spreading words, you're extending light. Every like is a spark. Every share is a ripple. Every subscription is another wick lit in the darkness. Somewhere out there is another chosen one praying for confirmation, and your small act may become the answer heaven sends. And if your spirit feels moved by these words, if this space has become a quiet place where your heart meets heaven, then consider this: a flame only keeps burning when oil is poured. Just as a candle depends on the gentle hand that refills it, this ministry breathes through hearts willing to keep its light alive. This is not a demand, it's an offering of choice. Giving is not about cost, it's about connection. When you sow into the ground that feeds your soul, you say, "Let this light reach another wandering heart." Maybe your seed is small. Maybe it's great, it all becomes fragrance to God when it's given freely. Your donation is like a single drop of oil in a lamp that brightens an entire room. Together, our drops become a river of light. If these messages have ever steadied your faith, healed your hope, or guided your next step, then let gratitude flow into action. Like if this speaks peace to you, share it so light multiplies. Subscribe to stay aligned with future words. And if your heart leads you, donate as an act of faith, not because you must, but because you want the flame to keep reaching further. Remember, generosity is never about pressure. It's about partnership. Every act of support is a whisper to heaven saying, "Keep the fire burning." You are part of this divine story, not as a spectator, but as a torchbearer who carries light through kindness, faith, and love. And when you give, even in silence, heaven hears. The act may seem small, but its echo travels far, weaving unseen blessings back into your own story, multiplying light beyond your reach. Each shared word becomes a bridge between souls. Somewhere, someone feels less alone because you chose to carry this flame forward. That is how revival begins, quietly. Through love, every act of kindness plants a seed in eternity's soil. You may not see its bloom today, but heaven records every drop of oil you pour into faith's lamp. Let peace settle in your heart now. You have done enough, given enough, trusted enough. Rest knowing the light you carry will never be extinguished. There are moments when heaven speaks not in storms, but through signs, symbols that repeat, numbers that appear in strange places, whispers woven through ordinary moments. You've seen them, haven't you? The patterns, the repetitions, the coincidences that feel too precise to be random. The truth is, heaven has been sending you reminders that you are in divine alignment. You may have thought it was just your imagination when a certain number appeared on a clock, a receipt, or a message at just the right time. But heaven often uses the language of patterns to speak to those who are awake enough to notice. These signs aren't meant to confuse you, they are meant to comfort you. They are God's way of saying, "I see you. I'm still here. Keep walking." You are learning to read the rhythm of heaven. Every small confirmation, every repeating symbol is a gentle nudge forward. The same spirit that hovered over the chaos at creation still hovers over your life today, orchestrating details too delicate for you to see. Even in the silence, you are being guided. When your spirit feels restless, it's because something within you recognizes divine movement. The world may call it coincidence, but you know it as confirmation. You've been praying for a sign, and heaven has been responding in ways that only your heart could decode. The Word of God declares this truth plainly, showing how divine guidance has always been woven into the walk of faith, as was spoken in the sacred texts of old, in the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verses 5 and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight. These words are not theory. They are a map. Trust is the compass that keeps you aligned when the path ahead feels uncertain. Leaning on your own understanding often leads to circles, but leaning on divine wisdom leads to destiny. Every delay, every redirection, every small no along your path has been part of God making your road straight. In this season, signs will increase. You will notice divine patterns more often, not to overwhelm you, but to remind you that you are not wandering. The same hand that wrote your name into existence is still writing your next chapter. August is not random, it's prophetic. It is the bridge between where you've been and where you're being sent. What once felt like repetition will soon feel like revelation. The same situations you thought were cycles are actually confirmations that heaven is refining your readiness. Be attentive, but not anxious. Don't chase the signs, let them come to you. When your spirit is still, you will notice that heaven speaks most clearly in peace. If confusion surrounds you, step back until peace returns. That peace is your signal that you're back in alignment. This is also a reminder divine signs don't just appear around you, they appear through you. You are a living message, a sign to others that God still moves in mysterious ways. Every act of faith you take sends ripples into eternity. Every kind word, every prayer, every step of obedience is another pattern heaven uses to guide others home. So when you see that symbol, when you notice that repeating number again, don't dismiss it. Smile. Whisper a prayer of gratitude. Heaven is reminding you that you're seen, loved, and led. And as you feel this word stir within your heart, take a quiet moment to acknowledge it. This is your sign, your confirmation, your divine yes. If your spirit knows this is for you, if you can feel heaven's timing aligning with your heartbeat, then seal it in faith. Go to the comments and write this number. It is the number of divine transformation and movement, the symbol of change under grace. By typing it, you're not performing an act of superstition, you're making a declaration that says, I'm ready to walk in rhythm with heaven. Change is coming, but you will not fear it, because you will recognize it as the sound of answered prayer. When you type 5555, you are not just entering numbers, you are stepping into agreement with divine flow. It's your way of saying, I choose faith over fear. Every digit becomes a symbol of surrender, a spiritual key turning in heaven's lock to release movement in your life. So pause, breathe, and let your comment be a confession of readiness. Write 5555 as your yes to transformation, your acceptance of heaven's timing, your declaration that the waiting season is over. It's not about numbers, it's about alignment. Heaven reads intent, not ink, and your faith will echo beyond this moment. You have felt it lately, the air growing heavier around you. The sudden resistance that rises every time you begin to make progress. It seems as though invisible hands are trying to pull you backward just as you take a step forward. Do not be surprised. The moment light expands, darkness reacts. What you are feeling is not chaos, it is confirmation. The enemy has recognized that you are no longer asleep, and now he scrambles to contain what cannot be contained. This is the rhythm of spiritual awakening. The higher you ascend, the more the winds of opposition howl. But remember, winds only roar where elevation exists. Those who dwell in low places do not know the force of the storm. You feel it because you are rising. The turbulence you sense is evidence that you have already left the ground. Darkness fears revelation. Every time you understand something new about who you are in God, it loses a little more control. It cannot stop your destiny, so it tries instead to distract you through confusion, through fatigue, through sudden fear that whispers, maybe you misheard God, but the voice of doubt always comes right before the door opens. It is the last shadow before dawn. You may notice this battle not in dramatic events, but in small, subtle ways. A conversation that stirs old wounds, a wave of exhaustion that makes prayer feel heavy, a thought that questions your worth. Yet even these are being exposed by light. You are learning to see beyond surface struggles and recognize the true war beneath. The scriptures have never hidden this truth. They have only waited for you to live it. The Word of God declares in the book of Ephesians chapter 6, verse 11, "Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil." These words are not merely instruction, they are identity. You were not created fragile. You were clothed in armor before you ever entered the battlefield. The shield of faith, the belt of truth, the sword of the Spirit. They are not distant metaphors. They are realities that wrap around your being each time you choose trust over fear. The enemy does not fear your talent. He fears your perseverance. He fears the moment you realize that brokenness cannot cancel anointing, that pain cannot erase purpose. He fears your consistency, because consistency builds altars in the unseen. Every time you show up to your calling, even when you feel empty, heaven counts it as victory. This is why the pressure has increased, not because you are failing, but because you are close. When construction nears completion, the noise grows louder. Every distraction you face now is the sound of spiritual scaffolding being removed. The structure is almost ready. What you built in tears will soon stand in triumph. Do not be afraid of how fierce the battle feels. Even the storm must obey its boundaries. You will not be swallowed by what you face, for light does not wrestle to survive, it simply shines. And the darker the night becomes, the more brilliant the light appears, and you are being refined to carry that radiance. Some battles are not meant to be fought. They are meant to be outlasted. You are learning endurance, and endurance builds unshakable strength. There will come a day when you look back at this very season and realize that what tried to destroy you actually trained you. The weight you carry now will become the authority you walk in later. So breathe. Let the tension serve its purpose. Not every shaking means something is breaking. Sometimes it means heaven is rearranging. The enemy's countermove cannot reverse what God has written. You are surrounded by unseen angels, protected by purpose, and anchored in a promise that does not expire. Hold your peace, guard your light. You have already won this war, you're just walking out the victory, one obedient step at a time. Even now, as the dust settles, heaven watches you stand unbroken, unwavering. The battle did not change your essence, it revealed it. What was meant to silence you has only sharpened your voice, teaching you how to speak with authority born from survival and faith. And soon, peace will follow where warfare once lingered. The same fire that tested you will now illuminate your path. You will not just recover, you will reign. For what you endured did not diminish you. It crowned you with wisdom that only the chosen can carry. There comes a point in every chosen one's journey when heaven issues a decree: no more cycles. You know the feeling, those repeating patterns that seem to drag you back to the same pain, the same confusion, the same lessons in new disguises. It's as though life has been on a loop, testing your patience, replaying familiar struggles until you've wondered if you will ever truly move forward. But August carries a different sound in the spirit. The echo of old cycles is fading. The pattern is breaking. You have walked around certain mountains long enough. You have cried over the same memories, tolerated the same habits, carried the same fear disguised as comfort. But this time, something in you has changed. You are not the same person who first entered this wilderness. You've learned the difference between delay and direction, between what feels good and what is God. The very things that once trapped you no longer fit who you are becoming. It's strange how freedom first feels like loss. When God begins to pull you out of old cycles, He often strips away what you thought you needed to survive. People disappear, opportunities dissolve, and plans crumble. But these endings are not punishment, they are preparation. Heaven never removes without the intention to replace. The pruning is painful only because you are still attached to what can no longer grow with you. You are now stepping into a moment where the rhythm of your life will change. The same doors that once held you hostage are closing for good, and new paths are appearing, ones you didn't even know existed. This is not random change, it is divine redirection. The things that broke your heart were not meant to define you, they were meant to refine you. In the stillness of this shift, the Word of God speaks again, declaring the end of repetition and the beginning of renewal. According to the writings in the book of Isaiah, chapter 43, verses 18 and 19, "Remember ye not the former things, neither consider the things of old. Behold, I will do a new thing, now it shall spring forth. Shall ye not know it? I will even make a way in the wilderness, and rivers in the desert." These words arrive like water in a barren place. They remind you that divine innovation often begins with divine interruption. God breaks cycles not by repairing the old, but by creating something entirely new. The desert becomes a river, not because the sand learns to hold water, but because heaven commands new flow. You are that river now. The places within you that once felt dry and hopeless are beginning to flow again. Ideas you buried are being resurrected. Dreams you abandoned are breathing again. The same heart that once ached under delay now beats with expectancy. It is not pride, it is prophecy. You can feel heaven's rhythm changing your pace, pushing you to walk not in circles but in straight lines. Breaking cycles also means breaking silence. There are truths you have been afraid to speak because they might offend comfort. But comfort was the cage. When you choose truth, you choose freedom. And freedom always disrupts the familiar. It may cost you acceptance, but it will gain you authenticity. God is calling you to stand fully in your identity, not the edited version of yourself that others preferred. Cycles end when you stop negotiating with what you've outgrown. You cannot heal while entertaining what hurt you. You cannot step into destiny while holding hands with delay. The hardest part of transformation is not what changes around you, it's what must change within you. Yet once you surrender, peace follows swiftly. In this new rhythm, God will send replacements that do not repeat the pain of the past. Friendships that heal instead of drain. Opportunities that align instead of confuse. Environments that feed your spirit instead of your fear. You will begin to notice that what used to trigger you no longer controls you. The same conversations that once stole your sleep will now lose their power to disturb you. This is what deliverance looks like in daily life: peace where there was once panic, clarity where there was once chaos. So walk forward, not with bitterness for what ended, but with gratitude that it did. The wilderness was a classroom, not a curse. You learned endurance, discernment, and the sacred art of letting go. Every cycle that breaks leaves a mark, but also a message. Yours will be this: that grace does not repeat itself, it restores. The pattern is finished. The circle has closed. You are stepping into straight paths, unbroken by fear, unbound by the past. And as you move, heaven moves with you, turning every old ending into a doorway of new beginnings. There comes a moment when heaven pauses, waiting for your response. Not because God needs permission to move, but because obedience is the key that unlocks divine timing. You stand now in that sacred pause between comfort and calling, between hesitation and holy courage. You have prayed for clarity, and this is it. The choice you make next will shape what unfolds next. You've been sensing the pull, haven't you? That quiet urging to step out of what is familiar, to release what feels safe. Yet part of you still wonders if you're ready. The truth is, readiness is rarely about feeling prepared, it's about being willing. Heaven does not wait for perfection, it moves at the speed of obedience. The next breakthrough isn't waiting on resources or approval, it's waiting on your yes. Every great shift begins with a single act of faith. Abraham left without a map. Moses stood before the sea before it parted. Peter stepped out of the boat before the waves calmed. What they all shared was not confidence in their own strength, but conviction in the voice that called them. You too are being summoned to move, perhaps quietly, perhaps boldly, but move you must. For too long, you have stood at the edge of decision, analyzing what obedience might cost. But now the Spirit whispers, what if the risk you fear is actually the rescue you've prayed for? You cannot cross into destiny while negotiating with doubt. Heaven is not waiting to prove itself. It is waiting for you to take the first step. The sacred text captures this crossroads perfectly, revealing that faith is never still. We find in the book of Joshua, chapter 1, verse 9, "Have I not commanded thee, be strong and of a good courage? Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed, for the Lord thy God is with thee whithersoever thou goest." These words echo through eternity to meet you here. Strength is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to move forward in spite of it. Courage is not loud. Sometimes it is the trembling whisper that says, "I will not stay where I've been." You have felt the weight of delay, the exhaustion of uncertainty, and yet you are still standing. That alone is proof of divine grace at work. The fact that you can still feel this stirring, that you still long for more, means heaven has not withdrawn its hand. The door is open, but it will not remain open forever. The time for indecision is over. This is your moment of decision. Heaven is holding its breath, waiting to record your response. You may not see the full path ahead, but every step you take in obedience creates solid ground beneath your feet. You do not need all the answers. You only need agreement. So let this be the moment where you stop circling the same mountain of hesitation. Say yes. Not because you understand everything, but because you trust the one who does. If this word resonates deep within you, if you know it's your time to move, to step out, to trust, then let heaven see your response. Type these words in the comments. I will go, not as a slogan, but as a sacred declaration. Let those 3 words echo through the atmosphere, marking your choice to follow divine direction. They may seem simple, but they carry the weight of destiny. Every act of obedience becomes a stone on the bridge that leads to your promised place. This is not about public display, it's about private alignment. Heaven reads sincerity louder than sound. When you write it, let it come from your heart, a heart ready to follow where the Spirit leads. You have stood long enough at the border of breakthrough. The gate has been waiting for your courage, and now courage has found you. Step forward, chosen one. The journey continues. When you write, I will go. You are not typing mere words, you are unlocking a divine agreement. It is heaven's way of recording your yes, of sealing your decision in spiritual ink. Those 3 words vibrate beyond this screen. They echo through realms that respond only to faith. It is your soul's declaration that fear no longer owns your feet. You are telling God, I trust you, even when I can't trace you. The trembling in your heart becomes holy fire, burning away hesitation. Each letter you write becomes a step forward, proof that obedience matters more than comfort. So write it boldly. Let I will go be the bridge between who you were and who you are becoming. The moment you declare it, heaven begins to move, aligning paths, parting seas, and preparing what eyes have not yet seen. You have felt the wind shift. What once crawled now moves swiftly. Things that used to take years are unfolding in days. The delay that once felt endless has turned into acceleration. It is not luck, it is divine timing. Heaven has synchronized your life with a higher rhythm, and now everything aligns at once. The waiting season has served its purpose. You are stepping into divine speed. But acceleration is not chaos. It is order disguised as motion. It is the hand of God moving through your timeline, redeeming what was lost, returning what was stolen, and multiplying what you thought had died. You may not understand how, but you can feel it. Destiny has picked up its pace. Every obedient choice you've made in the dark has summoned this new momentum. You prayed for open doors, and now doors swing wide. You asked for strength, and heaven gave you endurance. You asked for signs, and heaven gave you strategy. This is how divine acceleration works. It gives you what you need, not always what you expected. In this moment of movement, Scripture whispers softly, reminding you that God is the master of both seasons and speed, as revealed in the second book of Peter, chapter 3 and verse 8. With the Lord, a day is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years are like a day. These words remind you that divine timing does not obey human clocks. When heaven moves, it redeems wasted time. What you lost in delay, you will gain in double measure. The same God who paused your plans is now propelling them forward with precision. Acceleration requires faith, but it also requires community. You were never meant to run alone. As this message reaches your spirit, remember that every act of sharing multiplies the light. When you like, when you share, when you subscribe, you become part of heaven's relay, passing the flame forward to another weary soul waiting for confirmation. There is someone out there who needs this same reminder that their delay is not denial, that their time is coming. Your simple act might become the very spark that ignites their breakthrough. And as this movement grows, know that even divine flames need oil to keep burning. Every ministry, every voice of light survives on the willing hearts of those who choose to pour their oil, not out of pressure, but out of love. Think of it this way: a garden only flourishes when many hands water it. Each drop may seem small, but together they sustain beauty. When you give, when you donate, you are watering this spiritual garden, helping its message bloom for others. This is not about obligation, it is about participation. Your generosity becomes part of the story, like a musician adding another instrument to heaven's melody. You are not paying for light, you are helping it reach farther, climb higher, burn brighter. Maybe your heart has been stirred before, but you hesitated, wondering if your small offering could really matter. It does. A single seed can grow a forest. A single spark can light a city. Every gift, big or small, keeps the message alive, keeps hope echoing in hearts that feel forgotten. So if this word has touched something deep within you, respond not with duty, but with delight. Like this message, if it speaks peace to your heart, share it with someone standing at the edge of giving up. Subscribe if you want to stay in rhythm with every new word released from this river of revelation. And if your spirit feels led, donate not because you must, but because you want to. Let your giving be worship, your support a silent hallelujah whispered between you and God. You are not fueling a brand, you are feeding a flame. You are not helping a person, you are partnering with purpose. Every time you give, you tell heaven, keep the light shining, keep the truth flowing, keep hope alive. So as you move through this accelerated season, remember everything you sow: time, faith, kindness, support returns multiplied. The same God who accelerates your destiny will also multiply your generosity. The pace of blessing now matches the speed of obedience. You have stepped into divine acceleration. The wind is at your back, the light before your path. Run with faith and let love fuel your journey forward. There is a gentle law written into the fabric of heaven. Nothing surrendered to God is ever truly lost. Every tear, Every year, every opportunity that slipped through your fingers is not gone. It has been held in divine storage, waiting for the moment of restoration. That moment is now approaching. The God who restores time is stepping into your timeline. You have mourned what was stolen, relationships that withered too soon, seasons that seemed wasted, prayers that appeared unanswered. Yet what you called loss, heaven called investment. Every delay was a deposit into your future. Every closed door was a redirection toward something far greater. You did not lose time, you sowed it. Restoration does not mean simply getting back what you had. It means receiving what you should have had all along, refined by the wisdom you gained in waiting. The version of you that emerges after restoration is not the same as before the loss. You are deeper, wiser, humbler, stronger. You no longer crave what you once chased, because you now understand that some things were never blessings, only lessons. The process of restoration often begins subtly. You may wake one morning and notice peace where there used to be pain. You may find yourself smiling again without realizing when the sadness left. This is how God works quietly, gently, thoroughly. He does not just rebuild what was broken, he redesigns it so that the cracks become part of the beauty. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 51, verse 12. Restore unto me the joy of thy salvation and uphold me with thy free spirit. This prayer, whispered by a man who had lost everything, still carries the power to reach you. It is not a cry for possessions, but for joy, the joy that sustains faith when nothing else remains. Restoration begins not with the return of things, but with the return of joy. When joy comes back, strength follows. And when strength returns, the enemy's hold collapses. You may have thought your best days were behind you, but God's calendar reads differently. He is not bound by time. He rules over it. He can compress years of waiting into a single moment of favor. What took others decades can come to you in a day, because restoration carries acceleration. When heaven restores, it redeems every second. There is a divine symmetry in how God restores. He does not simply refill the cup to the brim, he causes it to overflow. The same places that brought you pain will soon become platforms for purpose. The same wounds that bled you will become wells that bless others. You are not merely surviving the aftermath. You are becoming the evidence that God still repairs what the world discards. Do not be surprised when old memories resurface. They are not returning to haunt you. They are surfacing to heal you. God cannot restore what you refuse to face. But when you allow Him to revisit the pain, He rewrites the ending. The same moment that once broke you can, in His hands, become the place of your greatest revelation. Restoration also carries reconciliation. People who wronged you may return, not for your approval, but for closure. You may never hear the apology you deserve, but you will feel the peace that surpasses it. True restoration does not depend on others acknowledging their part. It flows from you releasing your forgiveness, becomes the bridge that allows joy to cross back into your life. This season will teach you that restoration is not loud, it is luminous. It glows quietly in places where despair once lived. You will not need to announce it. Those around you will see the difference. They will sense the calm in your voice, the steadiness in your steps, the unexplainable grace in your eyes. And in that calm, you will finally understand God never replaced what you lost because He was preparing something that matched who you were becoming. The old version of your blessing could not fit the new version of you. What is coming will not remind you of what was taken. It will make you forget why you ever mourned. So breathe deeply. Let gratitude wash over the ruins of what once hurt. The ruins were never wasted. They were the foundation of your renewal. Restoration is not a single event, it is a revelation of how deeply heaven values you. What you thought was the end was only the setup for divine recompense. The story is being rewritten, and the ink is gold. You've come a long way. And yet in this quiet stretch of the path, the weight feels heavier than before. It's not because you are weak, it's because you are near breakthrough. The closer you get to birthing something divine, the more resistance rises to test your endurance. Fatigue, doubt, even sudden silence from heaven, all of it tries to convince you to stop now. But don't. What you're feeling is not the absence of God. It's the final stretch before fulfillment. There's a kind of weariness that doesn't come from work but from waiting. You've prayed, trusted, stayed faithful, yet still see no tangible change. You begin to wonder if maybe you misheard, or if maybe you've run out of strength to keep believing. But this exhaustion is not punishment. It's proof that you've been carrying something holy. Every seed of purpose grows heavy right before it breaks the soil. Fatigue often visits the faithful just before victory. That's why the enemy doesn't fight your beginning, he fights your almost. He knows he can't stop what God has promised, so he tries to make you stop believing in it. But your faith is stronger than your feelings. You've made it through too much to quit now. You are not empty. You are evolving. The scriptures remind us of this divine paradox, where human weakness becomes heaven's stage for strength. According to the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 12, verse 9. My grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. These words are not a comfort for the tired. They are a revelation for the chosen. God does not wait for you to regain strength, he becomes your strength. When your legs tremble, his power carries you. When your vision blurs, his clarity guides you. The very moment you feel you have nothing left is often the moment heaven fills you most. In this season, you are being called to rest differently, not by quitting, but by trusting. Rest is not the absence of activity, it's the presence of assurance. You rest when you remember that the outcome does not depend solely on your effort, but on God's orchestration. You do your part, and heaven does the rest. Fatigue will try to trick you into isolation. It whispers, no one sees your struggle. But heaven sees. Every unseen act of faith, every whispered prayer, every tear shed in silence, none of it is wasted. You are not invisible to the one who designed your endurance. Sometimes breakthrough hides behind boredom. You might feel like nothing is moving, but underground, roots are expanding, foundations are strengthening. The things you can't see are growing stronger so that what will bloom can last longer. God is not ignoring you. He's reinforcing you. Take heart, chosen one. This exhaustion will not last forever. The same fire that refines you will soon refresh you. You are being prepared for greater capacity. The season of stretching is ending, and soon, strength will return like morning light after a long night. If you could see what heaven sees, you would not fear this fatigue, you would cherish it, because it means the promise is near. The pressure you feel is prophecy in motion. Every sigh, every tear, every weary prayer is counting down to fulfillment. And when that fulfillment comes, it will not only refresh you but redefine you. You will not just recover, you will rise renewed. The same weakness that once slowed you will become the testimony that strengthens others. So take this moment to breathe again. Let faith refill your lungs. You have not failed. You have fought well. The finish line is closer than you realize. If this message resonates deeply, if your heart knows it's been fighting through fatigue and still holding on in faith, then let heaven see your endurance. Go to the comments and write this number. in order for sure to fall. It symbolizes stability, divine strength, and the completion of preparation. It's heaven's reminder that your foundation is firm, your season is shifting, and your faith has not been forgotten. By writing it, you declare, I may be tired, but I'm still standing. When you write 4444, you're not just typing numbers, you are affirming your endurance. Each 4 stands like a pillar, a symbol of balance and divine stability. It's a whisper to heaven that says, I am grounded, even in the shaking. Let those digits be your declaration of faith under fatigue. You're telling God, I haven't given up, I'm still believing. It is an act of silent courage, an offering of trust from tired hands. Even when strength feels gone, your faith still speaks through this small act of obedience. So write it with conviction. Let 444404 be your reminder that weakness is not defeat. It is the soil where miracles grow. You're not fading, you're fortifying. Heaven is still with you. There are moments in the life of a chosen one when heaven decides that help must arrive, not in the form of human hands, but in the form of unseen strength. You have reached such a moment now. You may not feel it, but you are surrounded. Where exhaustion once lingered, angelic movement begins. The invisible has taken notice of your perseverance, and heaven is responding. You have walked through long nights without visible assistance, wondering if your prayers vanished into silence. Yet not one word you spoke was lost. Every plea, every sigh, every God, help me was recorded in eternity, waiting for the appointed hour. That hour has come. Angelic reinforcement is being dispatched not because you begged, but because you believed. Angels are not distant, ethereal ideas, they are extensions of divine intention. They do not act on whim, but on command. When heaven decrees protection, they move like wind, silent, swift, unstoppable. Their presence is rarely seen, but always felt: the sudden calm in chaos, the unexplainable peace in danger, the strength that appears when you thought you had none left. You may have been closer to danger than you realized. There were traps set for you, conversations that could have crushed your faith, circumstances that could have broken your will, but they failed because unseen hands intervened. How many times did you walk away from what could have destroyed you without knowing why? That was protection, not coincidence. The voice of Scripture confirms this sacred mystery of unseen guardianship. The Word of God declares in the book of Psalms, chapter 91, verse 11, For he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. These words are not poetic comfort, they are legal decree. Charge means assignment. Heaven has appointed watchmen over your path. When fear tries to creep in, when doubt whispers lies, remember that you are never alone in the unseen. You may feel ordinary, but the protection around you is extraordinary. Every step you take in obedience triggers a ripple through the spiritual realm. The moment you decide to trust, heaven mobilizes. This is why the enemy's attacks have intensified. It's not because you are weak, but because you are protected. And when darkness realizes it cannot reach you directly, it tries to distract you instead. The reinforcement sent to you is not only for defense, but for direction. Angels guide as much as they guard. They shift circumstances, stir hearts, align moments. You might think you randomly meet the right person or stumble upon the right opportunity, but heaven has been choreographing every detail. Nothing about your journey is accidental. This is also why certain doors have closed abruptly. Protection sometimes looks like rejection. God's mercy sometimes feels like misfortune because he blocked what you didn't yet know would harm you. The angels assigned to you are not only fighting battles, they are filtering blessings. What is withheld now is being exchanged for what will sustain you later. In the coming days, you will begin to feel subtle evidence of this divine reinforcement. A burden you couldn't lift will suddenly grow lighter. A problem that consumed your mind will begin to untangle itself. A decision that felt impossible will gain clarity. It won't be because something external changed, it will be because heaven's help arrived internally. Do not mistake quietness for inactivity. The realm of heaven works best in stillness. Your task is not to control the outcome, but to stay aware. When anxiety rises, remember help is already present. When fatigue whispers defeat, remember you are not carrying this alone. The help of heaven is not always loud. Sometimes it comes as peace that makes no sense. Sometimes it's a closed mouth in a moment of anger, or a sudden idea that solves a problem you've struggled with for weeks. These are the fingerprints of angels, heaven's subtle handwriting across your ordinary life. The truth is, you have never fought a single battle unguarded. Every victory you've known had unseen soldiers beside you. Every near miss, every timely escape, every moment you should have fallen but didn't, all of them were proof that heaven intervened. So walk forward with quiet confidence, not arrogance but assurance. You are protected, surrounded, carried. Even in solitude, heaven is crowded around you. Angels do not tire, and neither does grace. You do not need to see the reinforcement to trust it. Feel the air shift. Sense the peace settle that is heaven saying, "We've got you." And as you continue forward, remember this: every chosen one walks with company unseen but ever present. There is a mirror that heaven holds before every chosen one, not of glass, but of spirit. It reflects not how you appear to the world, but how you are seen in the divine. In that mirror, there are no disguises, no masks, no borrowed identities, only truth. And now, that mirror has been placed before you. This is the season of confrontation, not with enemies, but with hesitation. The greatest delays in a chosen one's life are rarely caused by darkness, they are born in disobedience. It is not rebellion in the loud sense, but the quiet kind, delayed obedience. Partial obedience, conditional obedience. Each small compromise builds a wall between hearing and heeding, between knowing what is right and doing it. Heaven is not angry. Heaven is inviting you to clarity. You have prayed for breakthrough, but breakthrough is not always external. Sometimes it happens when your spirit finally aligns with your assignment. This moment, this reflection, is heaven asking, will you still obey when no one is watching? Will you still trust when there's no applause? Obedience is rarely convenient. It often leads you into uncomfortable places where faith feels like risk. But obedience carries authority that talent never can. When you obey, you echo the rhythm of heaven. You become a vessel through which divine will flows unhindered. The more you yield, the more you shine. The scriptures reveal this principle clearly through ancient words that still tremble with relevance today. According to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. This is not merely promise, it is principle. Elevation follows obedience. The voice you choose to follow determines the altitude you reach. God's commands are not chains, they are coordinates. When you obey, you step directly into the flow of divine alignment, where peace becomes compass and favor becomes atmosphere. Yet, for many chosen ones, the challenge is not ignorance but interference. You already know what to do. The war lies in the hesitation between revelation and action. How many times have you felt heaven nudge you toward a decision, only to delay because fear whispered not yet? How many opportunities faded while you waited for confirmation that obedience had already provided? You are being called now to shorten the distance between hearing and doing. Each moment you obey instantly, heaven accelerates response. Every act of quick obedience releases stored blessings. The reason some prayers remain unanswered is not because heaven is withholding, but because action has been postponed. This mirror season will not be easy. It will ask you to see parts of yourself you've hidden behind busyness, pride, or pain. But in that reflection is freedom. God never exposes to shame. He reveals to heal. When you face what has been delaying you, you dismantle its power. Obedience often begins in small things: an apology you've avoided, a habit you've refused to release, a step of faith you keep postponing. Heaven watches how you handle the small because it reveals how ready you are for the great. When you act on conviction instead of convenience, the universe rearranges to support your movement. Do not fear the cost of obedience. The price is temporary. The peace is eternal. What you lay down in surrender becomes seed for the next season. Nothing given to God ever disappears, it transforms. That dream you fear losing, that comfort you cling to, that plan you've written, place it on the altar. Fire never falls on empty altars. You may tremble, but heaven honors trembling obedience more than confident rebellion. When you say yes, even through shaking hands, it still counts as courage. The goal was never perfection, it was willingness. Soon, you will look into that mirror again and see a different reflection, the same face, but with eyes alight from divine agreement. You will know peace not as a fleeting emotion, but as a permanent position. For when obedience becomes your language, heaven becomes your audience. The mirror remains before you, not to judge, but to remind you are capable of more than. There are seasons when heaven crowns what you've carried. After every test, after every surrender, after every hidden act of obedience, there comes a moment of quiet coronation. You may not hear trumpets, you may not see light breaking open the sky, but deep within your spirit you will feel it, the weight of glory settling on you like a gentle hand. You are being crowned not because of performance, but because of persistence. You stayed when others left. You kept believing when evidence disappeared. You chose faith in the dark, and heaven took notice. The crown does not appear on the head of the strongest, but on the head of the steadfast, the ones who kept walking through fire without losing their song. The journey you've endured was never random. Every hardship has shaped you for honor. The loneliness refined your heart. The rejection purified your motives. The silence trained your hearing. All of it was preparation for this to wear what cannot be bought, a crown woven of light, faith, and endurance. The Word of God speaks of such moments through timeless promise. The Apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, chapter 9, verse 25. Now every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. They do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. This is your reminder that the recognition of heaven outweighs any applause of earth. Your reward is not temporary achievement, but eternal authority. You have become someone who no longer chases crowns made of metal, but one molded by meaning. Yet even as heaven crowns you, the story doesn't end, it expands. A true crown is not worn for display, it's worn to serve. And service begins with sharing light. When you choose to like, to share, to comment, to subscribe, you are not promoting a message, you are extending a kingdom. Each action becomes a ripple of grace that travels farther than you'll ever see. Imagine your gesture as a lantern placed on a river at night, one small flame drifting outward, soon joined by others until the water glows. Every interaction is a flame added to that river of light. Somewhere, someone lost in shadow will see it and remember that hope still floats. And if this stream of words has become a refuge for you, if you found comfort, strength, or the whisper of peace here, then know this light keeps burning because hearts like yours keep pouring oil. A ministry is not sustained by demand. It breathes through devotion. Every drop of generosity keeps the flame alive for the next soul stumbling in darkness. Think of giving not as loss, but as echo. A seed dropped into still water that creates endless circles. When you support, you are not paying for words, you are partnering with wonder. You are saying, "Let this light continue." And heaven hears that as worship. Maybe all you can give is a kind word, a prayer, a gesture, or perhaps a gift sown from gratitude. Whatever form it takes, it is enough. Your donation, however small, becomes part of the melody of mercy, a note that sustains the harmony long after the song fades. If this message has awakened something holy within you, then let gratitude find expression. Like this message, if it spoke life to you, share it so another can find their way home. Comment what you feel heaven whispered to your heart. Your words might become a bridge for someone still standing in silence. Subscribe to remain part of this unfolding river of light, so that the flame of truth keeps reaching those who need it most. And if your spirit feels led, donate not out of duty but as an act of devotion. Think of it as adding one drop of oil to a lantern that will keep burning long after you leave. Your offering is not payment, it is partnership. It says softly to heaven, "Let this fire continue to warm the world." Together, every like, every share, every comment, every seed becomes a constellation across the darkness. Ordinary acts shining as proof that love still moves, faith still breathes, and light still wins. And as light spreads from heart to heart, heaven watches in quiet joy. What began as a single spark now dances across countless souls, weaving warmth through the cold spaces of this world. You've become a bearer of flame, proof that love still multiplies when freely given. So let your crown gleam softly, not as a symbol of arrival, but of endurance. Every act of faith, every shared light, every gift of grace becomes another jewel upon it. The radiance you carry is not yours alone, it belongs to all who dared to believe that kindness could still change the world. There are moments in the divine story when everything reverses, not by effort, not by strategy, but by decree. You have reached that moment. What once bent against you is now turning in your favor. The unseen hand that allowed certain seasons to break you is now using those same seasons to build you. Heaven specializes in reversals, the kind that rewrite outcomes, redeem shame, and restore names. For so long, it seemed as though life was working against you. The things you deserved slipped away. The things you feared found you. You gave more than you received, prayed harder than you were answered, and wondered if perhaps you had been forgotten. But God has been quiet because He was constructing something behind the curtain. The delay was not denial, it was divine setup. You are entering the season where the last becomes first, where the overlooked becomes chosen, where the dismissed becomes distinguished. Heaven is flipping the script. What was once humiliation is becoming honor. What was once scarcity is becoming supply. You have walked through fire, but now the fire becomes light to guide others. The ancient text records a similar reversal, reminding every chosen one that no story is beyond rewriting. The voice of God thundered in the book of Genesis, chapter 50, verse 20. But as for you, ye thought evil against me, but God meant it unto good to bring to pass, as it is this day, to save much people alive. Joseph's words echo through time to meet you here. His betrayal became his promotion, his dungeon became his doorway. So it will be with you. The same voices that spoke against you will watch as grace crowns you. Every plan that darkness designed for destruction will be repurposed for revelation. Heaven wastes nothing, not pain, not delay, not disappointment. Sometimes divine reversal begins subtly. You may notice that people who once ignored you start to remember your name. A door you thought was closed forever suddenly reopens. A battle that once felt endless begins to lose its weight. That's not coincidence, it's correction. The spiritual scales are balancing and justice is awakening. There is a certain poetry in how God restores. He doesn't simply remove the storm, He turns it into rain that waters your next harvest. What came to drown you ends up feeding what you are about to grow. Even the tears you cried are now being gathered, turned into the currency of compassion that will help others heal. Do not be surprised when you begin to feel peace in the same places that used to make you anxious. That is how divine reversal feels. It doesn't always look dramatic, but it always feels decisive. Heaven does not need permission to change direction. It only needs your agreement to stop resisting. Your life has been like a chessboard, every move, every loss, every pause intentional. You thought you were being cornered, but the master was positioning you for checkmate. Every delay, every closed door, every unexpected detour was part of strategy. The king never moves in panic, he moves with purpose. As the reversal unfolds, humility will become your greatest weapon. Do not let vindication breed vengeance. God does not elevate to embarrass your enemies. He elevates to demonstrate His mercy. When the tables turn, let gratitude speak louder than pride. The same grace that lifts you now once protected you when you were low. This turning point is not only about justice, it is about recognition. People will begin to see you differently, but more importantly, you will begin to see yourself differently. The identity that shame tried to bury will rise. The confidence that pain tried to steal will return. You are stepping into clarity, seeing not what was lost, but what was gained through endurance. Every reversal comes with a new assignment. The healed are called to heal. The found are called to find others. You will now carry authority in the areas where you once suffered. Your scars will speak fluently to those still bleeding. You will not need to convince anyone of your transformation. Your peace will preach louder than words. So stand still for a moment and breathe it in the turning of the tide, the holy correction of heaven. What once pressed you down now pushes you forward. You are walking into promises that were always yours, but now you are ready to hold them. This is your great reversal. What was meant for evil has become the evidence of God's goodness. The story that once broke your heart will now break chains for others. The past no longer defines you, it refines you. Heaven has flipped the script, and your name is written in bold across the next chapter. There comes a moment, quiet and holy, when heaven stops writing warnings and begins to seal covenants. You have reached that moment. The journey that began with trembling has brought you here to the stillness of fulfillment, to the threshold of promise. This is not just the close of a season, it is the signing of a divine contract written long before time began. Heaven watches as you stand on the edge of completion. You are not the same soul that started this journey. You began as one searching for purpose. Now you stand as one embodying it. You have endured the storm, the silence, the shaping. And now the light around you feels different, not dazzling, but steady. Like sunrise after a long night. It is not the brilliance of new beginnings, but the calm of divine assurance. Every tear you shed has been gathered. Every loss has been measured. Every prayer whispered in fatigue has been answered in unseen ways. The covenant you are stepping into is not a reward for perfection, but for perseverance. God promised to finish what He started, and He is faithful to His word. This covenant does not appear in the sky. It unfolds in your spirit. You will notice a deeper peace settling inside you, the kind that no circumstance can shake. You will find yourself less concerned with outcomes and more aware of presence. This is how heaven seals by shifting your focus from survival to surrender. The ancient text captures the essence of this sacred completion with timeless grace, as written in the book of Philippians chapter 1, verse 6. Being confident of this very thing, that He which hath begun a good work in you will perform it until the day of Jesus Christ. These words are the signature at the bottom of your covenant. They remind you that what began as hope will end in wholeness. The same hand that formed you from dust has shaped your destiny from within. Nothing about your life is accidental, not even the detours. This is the moment where heaven no longer just speaks to you, but through you. Your life becomes the message, your endurance the testimony. You have moved from asking, "Why me?" to declaring, "Use me." That is the language of covenant. It means your pain now carries purpose, your waiting now carries weight, and your words now carry power. Do not mistake this stillness for stagnation. It is the sacred calm that comes before new assignments unfold. A covenant is both an ending and a beginning, the closing of one chapter and the opening of another written in eternal ink. You will move differently now, not rushed but rooted. You will speak not to prove but to plant. You will carry peace as armor and wisdom as light. In this hour, heaven whispers promises that will not fade. What was lost will be restored. What was broken will be rebuilt. And what was delayed will now be delivered in perfect timing. The path ahead will not be free from challenges, but you will face them from a higher plane of understanding. You no longer walk as one seeking approval. You walk as one already chosen. This covenant also carries remembrance. Never forget who carried you here. Remember the nights you almost gave up, the moments when strength felt impossible, and how somehow you made it through. That was grace, not coincidence. Gratitude will keep your covenant strong, for every thank you is a new thread tying heaven and earth together. You are now a living altar. Every act of kindness, every word of truth, every silent prayer becomes incense rising before God. Your life itself is worship, not through perfection but through persistence. You carry the scent of surrender, the fragrance of someone who has seen too much of God's mercy to ever doubt again. So as you stand in this divine stillness, let peace fill the empty spaces where fear once lived. Let joy settle where mourning used to dwell. Let faith rise where questions once screamed. You are no longer wandering. You are walking in covenant. The heavens have taken record. The scroll is sealed. The angels who guarded your journey now rejoice. The circle is complete. The covenant stands. And now the final page closes, not as an ending, but as a gentle beginning. You have walked through revelation, fire, silence, and light. You have been broken and rebuilt, shaped and refined. What was once pain has become wisdom. What was once confusion has become calling. You are no longer searching for signs, you have become one. If these words have carried you, if they've met you in quiet hours and reminded you of your worth, then let this be the moment of return. Like this message if it awakened something tender inside you, not as a task, but as a way of saying, "Yes, this touched my soul." Share it, not as promotion, but as compassion, like passing a candle to another traveler still lost in the dark. Comment what stayed with you. Even if it's just a single sentence, For every word you leave behind becomes a footprint that may guide another heart home. And if this flow of truth has become a resting place for your spirit, subscribe so that you remain part of the journey as new words unfold. And finally, if gratitude stirs quietly within you, let it take form. Donate only as your heart desires, not as obligation, but as a gift of oil poured into the lamp that lights others. Your offering is not currency, it is continuation. It keeps the light steady for someone else who might need it tomorrow. May your every click, every share, every quiet act of generosity become a ripple of grace traveling farther than sight can follow. For you are not just hearing this message, you are now part of its echo.